Hey guys, it's Sara Oehler here. I'm of course the sales and marketing manager for Softflex Company. I normally telecommute and work from my house in Phoenix. And over the summer, most of you saw I was in the Bay Area in our offices. And my family's actually adjusting to moving to the Bay Area for the entire school year while my husband goes to UC Berkeley. So we're mid-moving, if you can believe it or not. I'm working today and tomorrow, and I wasn't going to miss out on my chance to do a Softflex Live Design Challenge because they're absolutely my favorite thing to do. So I am here, but there are all sorts of things happening behind me. I had to actually shoo my family out of the house completely today so that we could get a little bit of quiet time to be able to do some creating. But I'm so excited because today I have a box that I've been holding on to for months. It is from Gardanne Beads, and I think it's Lichtenstein. Let me look for the exact name. You can find her on Facebook under Anne Gardanne. Yeah, Anne Lichtenstein is her name. I have admired her stuff for a long time, and just recently at the Tucson show, I picked up this beautiful pendant that I ended up using in one of the designs in Seed Bead Revolution, my new book. And I just really fell in love with this piece. She did this enamel piece here in the middle with this beautiful hot air balloon. And so in working with her to get a second piece like this to do the second colorway, I asked her if she wanted to do a Softflex Live Design Challenge, and I was so excited and happy when she said she did. So just a little bit of information on Seed Bead Revolution. If you've already pre-ordered your book, we are in the final proof stage. Kristen and I met on Monday, and we decided on covers. I have the glossy cover. She has the matte cover. We decided on the matte cover, which is the one that she has, and she's just making a few last touches, and then it is going to be ready to print and then ship. So it is on its way, and we're so excited. And of course, Anne's design, her little hot air balloon, is in this book. Let me see if I can find it. Yay! So that's one of the many projects that are in the book, and it's an inspirational piece. She has some really beautiful stuff. So I'm excited to show some of it to you guys today. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera down and stop jibber jabbering here. I see lots and lots of you are here, and I missed all of you. It's only been 2 weeks, but oh goodness, it's been a crazy 2 weeks for me. I went to Disneyland. I went to the beach. I got home after being gone for months. I'm at home now. So it's just been kind of wild and crazy, but here I am, and now we're packing up and we're moving to the Bay Area for the winter. So it's going to be an interesting year. You can find the book on the Softflex Company website. It should be right on the homepage. So www.softflexcompany.com. And we're still taking pre-orders right now, but it is at its full price, $23.99. And you can order it. And if you pre-order, you'll be the first to get your books. So your books will ship first as soon as they get into our warehouse. So I pulled a few things up that I have collected from Anne over the years that I thought were really beautiful pieces, and for whatever reason haven't used yet. But I wanted to kind of show you some of the beautiful stuff that she does. She actually started off as a lamp work artist and then moved to doing these enamel pieces, and she just does some really gorgeous stuff. She often has things like this that come in pairs. She can very easily make earrings and have, a matching set. And then this is just really cool. I don't know why I haven't used this yet. It's kind of been sitting in my stash. Sometimes I just love something so much that I don't use it. I just admire it. I think that's kind of what's going on with that guy there, because it's just so pretty. So to learn more about Gardanne Beads, you can go to their Etsy store, which is Gardanne, Gardanne beads.etsy.com, and we'll be posting links throughout the show. Anna's here, I see, so Anna will be posting some links and things to show you where you can get different items. One of her big supporters is artbeads.com. So I understand that a lot of things in the box you can probably get through artbeads.com, and hopefully we'll get some links up for that as well. So if you're interested in purchasing anything that I opened today, you'll be able to do that. I am going to try to use some beads that I may move these out of the way as I open this. I'm going to try to use some beads that I've picked up over the last year, because I know most of this is just going to be enamel components. So I pulled those out because it is kind of crazy in this office right now, I have to say. My husband started going through his closet in here and he pulled out a bunch of stuff and it's just like all over the place. So I tried to pull out a few things. Hopefully today will go smoothly. I am working under extreme, let me move this stuff so you can get better light. I am working under extreme pressure here for this design challenge because things are so chaotic here at my house. So bear with me. Okay, so we've got what look like almost like bead caps. So look inside there. They're a beautiful color. And then they have, you know, these little kind of spines. Let me see if I can find my cutters, would be important. And I don't have any right here. So let me grab cutters for sure. Oh, where did that box of cutters go? Of course, that's going to be difficult. Well, that's irritating. Okay, so I can't find what I'm looking for right now, of course. Just what I was thinking. So let's just look at these and I'll figure out where those went here in a second. Okay, so second set is like a big wide cone. These would be great with a knitted design. I could totally see these with like some soft flex knitted wire. It'd be so pretty. And these are the same as these, just in more of a yellow color. So that's cool. And then let's unwrap. Make sure I didn't, oh, I did miss something in this. Look at that, it's a star. Oh, look at him. He's so cute. I love that, Anne. It's so pretty. And it actually matches so nicely with my sand dollar that I purchased probably like years and years and years ago. Ooh, look at that, you guys. Isn't that beautiful? This is like perfect timing because I just went to the beach. So this really hits home with me. I had gotten a lot of, oh, look at the lime green in that. That's so beautiful. I have some really pretty beads that I think are going to go really well with this color selection. Ooh, another sand dollar. Yeah, nice. They're almost similar enough as a pair, just a little bit different. Cool. Oh, look at that, you guys. What a beautiful octopus. That is so awesome. Okay, so I want you guys to look at these things while I figure out where in the heck my cutters went, because obviously I'm going to need cutters and I got to find them. So I went through all of my stuff to try to organize for this not to happen, but of course this would be the one item. I lost a pair of cutters when I was teaching, and so my cutters that are normally in my work bag have gone missing, and I don't know where my classroom set went now. It's so weird. That is, oh, I bet I know where they are. Ah. Okay, so next week I'm going to visit Halstead, and I packed up a bunch of stuff to go there, and that's where they are. Okay, found them. Problem solved. You guys are so patient with me. Okay, so I'm gonna clip these so we can look at them a little bit better. Karen says, I really like the choices you made for this box, Anne. Me too, Karen. Me too. How are you, Karen? Hope you're doing okay. Okay. Ooh, there's so many pretty things in here. I pulled out some beads I bought in Tucson, and they're actually, I probably take my receipts out of here, but I bought them from Gemstone Station Core. Michael Ho, Sue Wu, and they are in Mira Loma, California. They were at the To Be True Blue show. But look at these colors, you guys. Like, let me move my stuff off here. Look at these colors. Is that not like sort of meant to be? I mean, really? Like, it's as if we're begging to go with this whole set of things that Anne sent me. So this is going to work out really well. I love this octopus so much. I also really love this. I really love this too. Why don't we start with the octopus, because I think he's so awesome, and I could see maybe using some of this, maybe those. These probably match the closest. So I'm just going to move the rest of this stuff off to the side, and we can kind of ogle it a little bit later if we want to make something else. And we'll focus right now on this guy here and some of the beads that I picked up here from Tucson. So I picked up a bunch of stuff. I picked up some of these guys that I thought were really pretty. I picked up some of these big crystal daggers that I thought were pretty awesome. Tucson's so amazing, you guys. If you haven't ever gone, you should really go. There's so many great things there. I don't know if this is marked what it is. I don't want to say what I think it is if I don't. And then I picked up just some check beads in yellow and gray. So I think this is like kind of a nice color combination. Thomas Soul says, I want that octopus. It's pretty awesome, isn't it? I really love it. I could really see a lot of this stuff working really well with the vintage materials too. And I have some of that out somewhere. So let's pull out a few things here. Like, I'm gonna definitely need a jump ring. Let me see if I have some of those in my vintage stash here that we can use. From when I went on JTV, I have some leftover bits. I've got some great ear wires that'll work well. And let's see, do I have, oh, there's some jump rings. Perfect. So we're gonna take out, Vintage does a bunch of these different jump rings. I'm sure you can order a lot of this stuff from Vintage through artbeads.com as well. So not only can you order your soft flex and your enamel pieces from Gardanne Beads, but then you can also order things like your jump rings. They have a really large assortment of materials, so you're going to be able to get lots and lots of different things from them. So let's pull some of these out so I have plenty to attach things to. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just attach a jump ring at the top because I know we're going to want to attach that. So anytime you're opening a jump ring, you want to make sure you're opening it side to side. Hopefully I can get it to focus in. Focus, focus, focus. Put my hand underneath it. Open it side to side. That way, when you close it back up, it stays a nice round circle. If you open it out, it's going to make it sort of a funky shape. So I'm going to open that side to side, and then I will just slip this inside the little octopus, and then I'll do the same thing to close it down. I'll use 2 chain nose pliers or a needle nose and a chain nose, and I'll close that back up. And you want to make sure anytime you're using an open jump ring, you're really careful about making sure it's really closed. And what I mean by that is that those 2 ends are really meeting up, and you're not going to lose anything, especially with soft flex. It's pretty thin, so it can slide through there pretty easily. So you want to be pretty careful that you're closing it pretty well. So now to connect it with some soft flex, I think I'm going to do another jump ring so that it's laying in the right direction. So I'm just going to open up one more jump ring, slide that onto this one here. I feel like this needs to be kind of like a long necklace with this big octopus kind of hanging at the bottom. Let's see if I can get this nice and tight so we don't lose anything. Really important. All those little details when you're making jewelry can make such a difference, such a difference. I'm going to move up just a little bit so I got a little bit better workspace and light here. There we go. It's a little bit nicer. I feel like we could make some earrings probably with these guys. That would be kind of cool. And I definitely think like this. I do really love the bringing the yellow in, but I don't know if it works with this particular design. Okay, so let's trim some beads off of here and see how it goes, right? Just going to go ahead and pull all of these off this strand. It's really pretty green color. And thanks, Art Beads, for sharing the video. I appreciate that. Art Beads has been a fantastic partner for us. I've asked them to do a live design challenge, and we will, I'm sure, someday, but we just haven't gotten around to it. So this is kind of a nice opportunity for me to be able to talk a little bit about them because they sell lots and lots and lots of soft wax. And it sounds like they sell lots and lots of Anne's materials as well for Gardanne Beads. Christina Coffee says, the octopus is gorgeous. I love Anne Gardanne's enameled pieces. They're such high quality. So pretty. Wiley says, yes, try the yellow. It gives it a little bit of a pop. Okay. Yeah, I'm usually not a yellow person. But I remember when I was buying beads, I was like, oh, this yellow is just so pretty. Just a really pretty yellow. And so I went ahead and bought some, and then I just haven't quite had a chance to use it, but maybe just like a couple of yellow beads. I won't take off the whole strand. Will be kind of pretty with this, just to like make it stand out a little bit. Mary Ellen says, I just got a box of Anne Gardanne pieces in the mail today. Love her. Ooh, you can do your own design challenge, except for I'm sure you probably picked what you were getting, which always makes life just a little easier. So these guys are actually knotted on here. That is a lot of work. So I'm going to trim all these guys off of here so we can use some of this real gemstone. I think it'll look really pretty. So my family and I went to Carpinteria Beach, Carpinteria State Beach in California this last week. That's kind of our beach as a family. We go there pretty often. It's known as like one of the safest beaches. I think because the Channel Islands are right directly outside of it. So you're kind of in sort of a softer area where it's a little bit less, you know, rugged for the waves. So it's great for little kids like my kids. But we saw all sorts of creatures. We almost always see starfish there, which is always exciting for the little girls. And sand dollars, you know, and seashells, and it was really, really lovely. Right. And just gonna pull enough off that we can start working with them to create something. For those of you that have never been to a live design challenge, I just opened a box from Anne Gardanne, Gardanne Beads, and she sent me a bunch of materials. I had no idea what was inside the box, so I haven't pre-planned what I'm making. I am literally making it here in front of you. So I have no idea what's going to happen any more than you do. So hang in there with me, but we'll make something really awesome. And welcome if you haven't been to one of these before. We always have a pretty good time, right, everybody? I'm trying to find two that look kind of similar that I'm going to be okay with. I feel like this yellow could look really pretty here. I also might have some more of this vintage brass like beads. So let me grab some of those out because I think that could be kind of pretty too. And then I have some chain, so I think that would be kind of cool to do chain up the back side. I have this kind of nice light chain that we can connect on either side. But let me see if I have a few beads that we could throw in there. I think that would be really pretty. Oh, Maureen says that's my favorite beach. Us too, Maureen. We love Carpinteria. We try to go there every year. It's a beautiful beach. That and there's a Santa Claus beach that's nearby that's just really lovely too. If you're ever in, Carpinteria is just north, I believe, of Santa Barbara. If you're ever in that area. There's some natural brass beads I could maybe throw in. I'm just gonna see if there's any other options in my bag of, oh, we have some other chain option too. Look at all my different chains from Vintage. So we'll look at those. I think this natural brass looks so pretty with the enamel. What is this is metal underneath here, right? That's enameled. So what is the metal that's actually being enameled in this, Anne? Can you tell us a little bit more like about the process of how you would make this? Oh, what do we have here? Okay, we've got these guys all match. Couple big guys, couple little guys. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe something in between here and here would be kind of cool. Let's see. There we go. Like that. How's that looking to you guys out there in Facebook world. Separate out a little bit. Is the yellow too bright, or do you still feel good about the yellow being in here with the greens and the brass? Anne says it's made with raw brass. I see. Rochelle says chain would be perfect. Anne says she fires them on her kiln or torch, depending on the piece. Martha likes the yellow. Yeah, I kind of like the yellow too. I like that it's just sort of a little pop of yellow. And yellow is such a happy color. Yellow makes me happy. Okay, so I've got a few different chains here. So let's explore some vintage chain and see what we end up choosing. Okay, so the chain I have here that's already out is thin, and it's kind of got an oblong. So we're gonna call this chain A. This is chain A, and I'm trying to make it so you guys can see it better. Oh, there we go, chain A. And we'll take a quick survey of which chain we should use. And I also have, this is not long enough, so I'm gonna have to do more beads, but this is a lot bigger and thicker, and I would have to do a whole lot more beads to get a nice long necklace, or I could do something short with this, which would be chain B. And, oh, this one's from Make It, Take It that I did with vintage. So this is chain C, which is a bunch of different circles and ovals mixed together. Again, not really long, so I'll have to definitely make some adjustments, but I can make it work. And the last one is, again, a thin chain, but it has kind of a different shape to it, and we'll call this chain D. So tell me, which one do you think I should use? A, B, C, or D? And I will work on that. Hey, Kate, I was watching your video earlier today. If you guys haven't seen the beadshop.com videos, you have to run over to their Facebook page. Kate, will you actually post a link to beadshop.com's Facebook page? And check them out. They have some awesome videos. They were doing herringbone stitch today. I am not a seed bead weaver, but I turned it on and was listening, and they give such excellent tutorials with pictures and just very clear explanations. Ooh, we've got all sorts of letters. Lots of A's. I see quite a few A's and D's. A and D seem to be. Okay, so we like the thinner chains more than the thicker ones, which is good because those are the ones that I have the longest length of. So the difference between A and D is A is just a little bit thicker than D. Let me open it up so you can see it a little better. A or D. Oh, nice long length of this one. It has its wire still attached to those. Let me attach this. Prefer A. Anne says, I also cut my own simpler shapes out of copper. I put all the holes in the pieces so you can custom order hole placement. Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to point out that I haven't gotten to say yet is Anne does trunk shows on Facebook, you guys, and I know a lot of you would really like to join in on that. So she has a private group. I assume she's going to post a link here for us. But if you join that private group, it'll tell you when there's going to be a trunk show, and she shows a lot of her one-of-a-kind pieces during the trunk show. So I think you guys would really, 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 really enjoy that. So hopefully, Anne, if you have a link, or do they just like your Facebook page to learn more? I think a lot of you would really have a fun time with that, checking that out. Okay, so I am going to use A because that seems to be the one I'm seeing the most likes for, and it's a nice long piece of of chain too. Okay, so last piece of this is to get some wire, and I think I'm going to use the fluorite colored soft flex. So let me grab that out. I saw Kate posted the beadshop.com link, so you guys do go over there and like their Facebook page if you haven't already. I think you would also really enjoy her videos that she's doing with them. So this is the fluorite color. Soft flex comes in lots and lots of different colors. Fluorite is one of my favorites. It's based off real fluorite gemstone beads, and it's sort of like a sage green. Really, really pretty. I think it's nice in this particular design because I'm not really going to show a lot of the color. It's just going to kind of show here where I'm connecting to this jump ring at the top, and then up here where I connect to the chain in the back side. So it's not going to be a lot, but it is nice when you can use a color and have it blend so well with the design that you're doing. So soft flex in the medium comes in, I think, 25 different colors, and that's our 49 strand stainless steel beading wire with a color nylon coating. And the color is right there in the nylon. It doesn't change whatsoever. So let's get going now to find my crimps in this crazy town place. And Kate and I have been cooking up an idea. I might be going to beadshop.com one of these days to do a video with them. So I am looking forward to hopefully getting that to work out when I get back to the Bay Area. I know all of you guys that watch both shows will probably really enjoy having us do something together like that. Let's see. I'm just getting out a couple of crimps. Often when I do this color, the vintage, I use gold-filled crimp tubes. They don't match perfectly, but I feel like they look really nice with the brass. The two colors just sort of blend really nicely. So, and I like to use soft flex crimp tubes, and for now, they're only available in gold-filled, silver-filled, sterling silver, and copper. And I don't particularly like the copper with the brass as much as I do the gold. So that's usually the choice I make. But you know, you could definitely make a different choice. And I am hoping to get some different colors of crimp tubes in. I've been working on that recently, actually. So maybe we'll get more of a vintage brass color eventually. I just want to make sure they're the same quality as all of our other great crimp tubes, because you know I drone on and on every one of these videos about how important these little guys are and how important it is that they're strong because they hold the entire design together. So I'm using a 2x2 soft flex crimp tube in gold filled. I'm strung it onto the wire, and now I'm just going to string it through that top jump ring that I added to this beautiful octopus from Gardanne. And I am going to back through my crimp tube and then just pull close to my jump ring. It's important to always leave enough room so that your connection is loose. It doesn't need to be super tight, and in fact, sometimes if you make it too tight, it can create a lot of different kinds of problems. So a little bit of looseness is always good. And I have my wires running just about side by side inside the crimp tube so that they're nice and straight, so I'm making a good straight connection. I'm going to use my magical crimpers. Find the center of those crimping pliers with that crimp tube and crimp. And if I did it correctly, let me get up close here. If I did it correctly, you should be able to see 4 little corners, like a little square ravioli. And then I'm going to turn it on its side. Let me get in close enough that it, Okay, there it goes. I like for it to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. And then I'm just going to go around it a few times, tightening it up. Kind of coming in from every direction, because at the end of the day, what I'm doing is I'm taking that tube crimp, just does not want to focus today, taking that tube crimp, and I am crimping the two edges down to make a little round bead. And it also gives me a really nice strong connection, where if I tug on this, tug, I'm not going to lose my piece here. Okay, so I'm going to take my cutters, flush side in towards my crimp tube, and trim. I kind of know what my size is going to be. You know, this is my bead, so I'm just going to measure a little bit extra length here so that I can crimp on the other side, and I'll trim right off my spool. You'll notice I often work right on my spool. I try to do that so I save as much wire as possible, whenever possible. Not necessary, but something that I like to do. And now I am going to make sure I'm getting a good, I'm going to string my beads. I know these check beads have such nice large holes. They are so easy to work with, as this brass bead does too. The only question is going to be this guy here, and he's actually got a pretty good sized hole, if you guys can see that. That can be unusual sometimes for gemstones. You almost never know what you're going to get until you take them off of the thread, and then you kind of see what's going on. And any of the gemstones, again, I got from Gemstone Station Core, and it looks like they just have emails. They're probably a wholesale company would be my guess, and I got those in Tucson. I'll just leave their card here so you can check them out if you want to. And there we go. And now I'm just going to connect to my chain the same way I connected down here. And string my 2x2 crimp tube. I'm going to go through the last link of chain that I have here and then come back in. I'm going to love this necklace. I can already tell. I'm going to want to wear it all the time. I'm wearing my Fusion Beads necklace today, which I am in love with. Those little triangle chains that I made during the last design challenge. So it's such a treat to make jewelry once every 2 weeks at least, sometimes every week, and then have new jewelry I get to wear or give away. Okay, so here we are. We've got our complete piece. I'm going to look at this side and this side and make sure they look similar before I crimp. You always want to kind of make sure things are just the way you want them before you finalize it, because you can't really go back once you crimp. Things are just sort of the way they are at that point. So I'm going to use my magical crimpers again to crimp my connection here, and there we go. And then I'll just trim off again right at my crimp bead. And yeah, so let's just, this is a quick and easy design, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and finish it up right here on camera, and then we'll make a pair of earrings to go with it. I'm going to take this off just to see, measure it on my neck to see that it falls in a place that I like. So flip, flip. And so right now it's measuring, this is my, let me take off my Fusion Beads necklace that I was just talking about. Right now it's measuring about right here, which I really like that length a lot. That's a very comfortable length for me. So I think I'll go ahead and just crimp. This is probably the length that the chain comes in. I'm gonna guess, let me see if I have my measuring tape handy. I don't have anything handy today, you guys. It's crazy. So, just go with it. Let me get my measuring tape so I can measure the chain so you can kind of get an idea of how much chain I'm using. This is like the ultimate extra big design challenge. When you do a design challenge and you're moving at the same time and you have no clue where anything is. It's like the special extra, and you have 2 toddlers. Hang in there with me. I'm getting there. So I'm going to measure this just so you guys know what I got here. It looks like it's 24 inches of chain. So 2 feet. I think that's the package quantity when you buy from Vintage. Let me see. Yeah, I have a, yes, 24 inches. So when you buy it, it usually comes like this, kind of all bundled up. And look, made in the USA. And this was made in the USA. Our wire and our crimps are made in the USA. Got all sorts of USA stuff happening today. And let's see. I am going to go ahead and attach on the other side in the same fashion that I did before. I'm just going to kind of do this quickly just so we can see the final product before I move on to making some earrings here. And I want to look at the 2 ends so that I'm, again, getting them similar. They don't have to be perfect. Nothing needs to be perfect when you're hand making jewelry, but it's nice if you can look at one side and then the other and they kind of look like they're supposed to go together. Find the center of those magical crimpers and crimp. You know you've done it right if you get that little square ravioli. Go around and around, tightening it down. And then we will trim and to string our other side here. So cute, you guys. So cute. Okay. And same order, so that's easy enough. Beads. And wait, what did I do? This guy goes next. I want to say this is Amazonite, but I don't know for sure, and it's not marked, of course. It's really pretty though. And there we go. And now I'm going to grab one more of my gold-filled 2x2 millimeter crimp tubes. And I'll attach on this other side too. Hey Sharon, thanks for joining us. Rochelle, I think it is a good length. I think I'll like it a lot. I think it would be a pretty good length on most people. Okay, so I'm gonna, again, I want to kind of look the top and the bottom. You know, are my connections pretty similar? I want to straighten out the wires as best I can inside the crimp tube. So I'm getting a nice straight connection, and then I can slide the crimp into the crimping pliers and compress. I'm way into these long necklaces. Have you guys noticed that lately? I'm always making these long necklaces. I just think they're so cute. I'm not much of a choker girl. I know chokers are really a big deal right now, but I do really love these long flowy necklaces. Okay, there we go. Yay, I love it. So we've got our first piece. I'm gonna make a pair of earrings, I think, to match using these guys. So I definitely want to pull the yellow in, maybe even inside that bead. So there's just like a little bit of yellow peeking out. And we kind of got the blue, and then we're gonna do the brass ear wires from Vintage again. So get another ear wire together here. There we go. Right. And I'm trying to think if I want to add one of these guys in at the top or the bottom. Maybe the bottom would be better. We'll have to play around with this. So I'm going to just make basically like a head pin using the soft flex beading wire. So in this case, because I'm going to play around with it, I'm just going to cut it right off of the spool. It's easier to crimp 2 strands than 1 using this crimping pliers. So to make sort of like a little head pin, I'm just going to take my 2x2 crimp tube, string the wire back into the crimp tube, pull it down so I've got doubled over, and then when I'm done and I've crimped it, I'll actually just cut that extra wire right off because I don't need it. I'll show you what I mean here. So I'm going to crimp this. If you're not familiar with a head pin, if you're like brand new to jewelry making, it's like a straight pin, like a nail almost, with a bottom that holds a bead onto it. I'm basically making that with soft flex by crimping onto the wire, trimming the wire from it, and then I've got kind of a straight head pin basically with something to stop the beads at the bottom and then wire coming up from the top here. So let me see, I'm just going to play around with the beads just to see, you know, what combination is going to work the best here. This is kind of what I was thinking. Something like this maybe. Get it further away so you can see it. And then just crimp at the top. Let's try it a couple different ways though, because it's always fun to see what something might look like. I could do just the yellow, which is cute. It's, you know, it goes really well with this octopus. I could add this guy on the top instead of the bottom. So it's something like that. This looks like a little girl with a dress on to me. I think the bronze beads would look great in the earring as well. Ooh, that's a good point. And I've got 2 of a bunch of them. These ones probably match the best with what's in the necklace. So let's try that. I definitely want yellow because I want that color to make sense. I want these earrings to make sense with this design here. Let me see, what would that, I wonder if the bronze bead has too big of a hole, if it would slide over. So much of jewelry making is this, just trial and error. Like, what is gonna work the best? What is gonna look the nicest? What do I like the most? I like that a lot. I think that's really pretty. What do you guys think? Vintage color looks great with the enamel. It does. It looks really nice with the enamel. Rochelle said it does look like a little girl in a dress. Yeah, when I put the bead on top, it kind of does. So do you guys like this combination with the brass on the bottom, the yellow, and the enamel kind of cone on the top? What do you call this and the top piece? Are these bead caps? Are they cones? Like what is the term that you use for those pieces? I'm going to go ahead and get a crimp out so we can attach to the ear wire here. So I'm stringing again my 2x2 millimeter crimp tube. I'll go into my ear wire, back into my crimp tube. Yeah, the brass was a really smart idea. I don't remember who offered that idea. I'll go back in the comments later, I'm sure, and see. Great idea. Good point. You guys always give me really nice pointers on these live design challenges. So I'm kind of messing around with it until I can get it kind of close to my beads, but I also want to get this loop just a little bit smaller. So sometimes you kind of have to just go back and forth till you get it just the way you want it to be. Again, you want to leave it so that when it's connecting, there's some room there. Straighten out your wires inside the crimp tube. This is another nice time where you can kind of pull on it, move it to get the right size. And then I'm going to go ahead and compress and crimp. Tulip bead caps, but my customers use them as dangles, wire, or chain coming out the bottom. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, they're really pretty. I really like them. Everything you sent today is really pretty, Anne. Thank you for sending a box for us to look at and enjoy. I very much admire your work. Okay, so I am going to clip there. And I've got my first little earring. And then I'll go ahead and make a second one after the live show. And I'll post a picture of these guys so you guys can see a really good view, of this design. So because I am only working 2 days this week and I got a zillion things to do, I think I am going to close in just looking at these last pieces that Anne sent, and hopefully I'll get a chance to still use these in a future design. I especially love, like, these guys together would be fantastic. You could even link them at the bottom, do something like this up here, and it would be awesome. So a lot of the parts and pieces that you saw today you can get from artbeads.com. That includes the Softflex beading wire, the enamel pieces from Gardanne Beads. It also includes the Softflex wire. So if you would like to win a $15 gift certificate for Anne's Etsy shop, be sure to share this video by August 15th, and the winner will be chosen on August 16th. So click to share, make sure you publicly share so we can see it, and we'll pick a winner from those who have shared the video. It's the gift certificate. The gift certificate can also be applicable to one of her trunk shows, so her Etsy shop or her trunk show. So this is all from the Sea Life collection that she does. And you can contact Anne for other color options as well. So this isn't the only color scheme that these guys come in. So you can check her out a little bit more at Gardanne, Gardanne beads.etsy.com. And you can find me here again for the next Softflex Design Challenge. Let me flip up. The next Softflex Live Design Challenge is going to be on August 30th, and it'll be from Sonoma again. So between now and then, I've got my hands full. I'm going to be doing a lot of packing and moving and sorting and organizing, but that'll be my first day back in Sonoma. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all then. It's going to be Green Girl Studios, so I know that's going to be a really fun package to open too and check out. And I'll also be launching Treasure Trove beading kits that week. Some of you saw we got this huge shipment of stuff from a factory closing or a business closing in the beading industry, which is sad to see any business go under, but it was very nice that we were able to pick up a lot of new materials, but it's all kind of unique stuff that we can't really put online. So what I did was I hand-picked a pile of things that are going to go into packages for sale, and there's only going to be 40 of them because there isn't a lot of material for each item. So that was the most that I could get out of the materials that were there. So those are going to be available coming in September. And so I'll be talking about those on Thursday, August 31st, and kind of explaining how that's going to work. And I'm going to actually keep one, and then we can kind of all bead together on a specific date that I'll choose. So I'm looking forward to doing that with all of you guys too. Curtis says, how about showing making bracelets for men sometime? That's a great idea, Curtis. You know, we have some gentlemen that work for Softflex, and they make some great jewelry, especially my coworker Damien's been doing a lot of men's jewelry. If you go to our free project ideas section at softflexcompany.com, I'm pretty sure there's a men's jewelry section. Maybe Thomas can throw a link up for that here for you to take a look at. I do tend to focus on women's jewelry because that is like 95% of the people that are watching these videos. But, you know, men's jewelry really can be a challenge, and that is something I probably should think about showing at some point. So thank you for making that point. Thank you, Carolyn. I'll need the luck. Thank you, Diane. I definitely will need the good luck. But next time you see me, hopefully I'll be settled in and much more relaxed than I am right now. So thank you, Anne, for the materials that you sent today. I loved looking at your enamel pieces and using them, especially this beautiful octopus. So thank you so much for participating, and I'll see all of you guys later in 3 weeks. Well, maybe next week from Halstead, but it'll be probably kind of a short video. So at any rate, see you for Design Challenge in 3 weeks. Bye, guys.